From bad to worse, Fujimoto loves to torture Denji, the return of Asanyoru right around the corner, and more importantly, what is public safety up to? All this and more in Chainsaw Man chapter 156 titled Whup, Bzzz, Split. And just a quick recap for what happened last week, we don't know the fate of Nayuta as we saw this heartfelt flashback between the relationship that her and Denji had when they first met, to Denji even waking up in the hospital bed, and now who awakens Denji? Well, it's none other than Yoshida. Denji's seen hallucinating about Nayuta laying on his chest before Yoshida snaps him back to reality. Denji asks about what happened to Nayuta, but he tells him that he doesn't know either. Enraged, he tries to get out of bed, but because he hasn't been able to walk for a week, his legs are pretty weak, so any effort to move is futile. Yoshida is back in the story. The last time we saw him, if someone can correct me, I believe he ran away after Yoru got her massive power amp, thanks in part due to the power of the Fire Devil contract that made Denji and the war stronger because of the mass chaos that was happening around the streets. And the great thing Fujimoto has done with Yoshida's character is that, you know, he's been kind of on the good side, but he's kind of have some ulterior motive, and he's still working for public safety. So from that aspect, you know, he's trying to do the good thing, but he also said he was working for a secret organization, and we're still left in the dark about that as well. To see him don the full public safety attire, I'll say this much to him: he looks pretty cool with the drip, okay? But quite frankly, that's really the only compliment I can say about him, because now it seems like we're skewing further and further into this story. Yoshida is someone much like Fumiko, and we'll talk about her later on in this video. I'm just starting to enjoy hating them, and I cannot wait to see what consequences Fujimoto has for those characters down the road. But to get back on track, Yoshida then goes on to say that he tried his best to dumb down his explanation of the consequences to Denji, but now that he broke the rules, he can't help him. As if anyone needed the reminder, well, if you turn into Chainsaw Man, I can't offer you or protect your loved ones any safety. As if public safety was doing that already. Fumiko failed miserably trying to protect Denji, abandoned Nayuta, and I know at this point, punching bag about words Kishibe is a thing, and we still don't know public safety's angle, because what happens later on to Denji, and oh boy, we'll talk about that too, but they know about the Nostradamus prophecy, so this is the part I'm just really curious about on why they're detaining Denji, when Denji, quite frankly, is one of the best hopes that they have against the Death Devil and this Nostradamus prophecy from even happening. Anyway, leaving the room, Yoshida tells the other public safety members, including Fumiko, that he's drugged Denji. When Fumiko asks Yoshida if they're really going to dismember him, Yoshida confirms it, and she eagerly asks if she can grab some fingernails and hairs from his body, as the Japanese government will likely seize the rest of his body after they're done with it. When Yoshida asked her if she was truly a fan, she said that she was a collector. Oh man, I cannot wait at this point to see what Fujimoto is going to do to make Fumiko suffer as much pain as humanly possible, because how has she been this character that we hated in the beginning, and then we got a backstory that's like, well, do you believe what happened with her parents in the battle between Aki and Denji, or was that also a lie, and she was a mega fan of Denji the person, but she also loved Chainsaw Man, but actually at the end of the day, I'm just a collector, and a really weird one at that. I would just find it a little bit poetic if the person who ends up taking Fumiko down is also a fan of Chainsaw Man, and also potentially someone in the detention center. But who am I talking about? I'll explain it in just a minute. But anyway, Denji has another vision of Pochita telling him he has to go save Nayuta. Pochita asks how it's possible if he doesn't have legs, and this is now where we're going to see one of the most disturbing pages of Chainsaw Man, and that's saying a lot because Chainsaw Man is pretty brutal of a manga. Denji is in an operating room, and they are, well, dismembering parts of his body, and starting off with the legs, it's pretty disturbing here. I think someone has mentioned that this is a Fire Punch reference, so any context explained in the comments down below would be appreciated. But more importantly, you would think, because we know devils can regenerate, especially someone like Denji, who's probably one of the strongest devils within the verse, that they would just start going for the chest so that he wouldn't be able to revive. But I'm not a surgeon. Maybe starting off with the legs has some significant meanings. Obviously, he won't be able to run. And the guy who's smoking the cigarette in the operating room, kudos to him for public safety even thinking that he's the guy who's going to personally take down Denji, because as if I haven't said it numerous times already, the incompetence of public safety is always a bit baffling. But yes, Denji's being held at the Tokyo Detention Center, and due to its maximum security, no devil has ever managed to get out. So what was I saying earlier that I would find poetic? If someone who ended up taking out Fumiko was also a fan of Chainsaw Man. And now we can finally put it to rest because I'm gonna say it right here. Reze was being held captive the entire time. Look, it makes sense a little bit because when you think about it, Reze was what, like a Russian Soviet spy? So for them to revive all of the hybrids, maybe they didn't do anything with Reze because Reze still had strong ties with the Russian Soviet side of things. So for her to be held captive here, I would love for her to now help Denji escape this detention center due to the chaos of the person's feet that we see at the end of chapter 156. And who is that? Well, given off the context of what the bubble speech saying, it would take a war to compromise this facility's safety. If it looks like a duck and act like a duck, and is she going to help Denji escape? You better believe it, but because we know the agenda that Yoru is on. So hopefully this is the end of Denji's suffering for quite some time, and now we're going to see an uptick because the unknown whereabouts of Nayuta to Denji being operated on to feeling the most helpless he's ever felt in quite some time is really sad. And for the people who's going to be nice in the comment sections this week, thank you very much. It was a bit unexpected, but the good news around the corner to bring it back is that there is no bi-weekly devil affecting Fujimoto's work. So we will find out what will happen more. And yeah, let's go ahead and talk about everything that goes down in this chapter in the live discussion, which you can check out right here. Take care.